Phil, what'd you think of the surprise guest star in this episode of the Book of the Bobalorian?
I think he'll take any job if the money's right. Welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And today we're going to be discussing, Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2?
Yeah, the Bobalorian, sure.
The Bobalorian, yes.
Yeah.
It's technically Episode 6 of the Mandalorian.
Yes, the penultimate episode.
Oh, I even said the Mandalorian, but...
You did.
Yeah, ridiculous. It is the Book of Boba Fett, kind of. Boba actually does show up
from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view. Boba does actually show up in this one.
Yeah, it's good to see Tamara Morrison again. I mean, we know he's still around.
Yeah, and he did have a line in this one. Not as Boba Fett, but he did have a line in this one.
As a clone trooper,
As
sure.
a clone trooper.
Yeah.
Oh, just ridiculous. Tell a Boba Fett story, please.
Yeah,
please.
You know, that's the thing. This episode's getting tremendous ratings on IMDb. I think it's like a 9.7 or 9.8. As a Star Wars episode goes, it's awesome.
Amazing.
But as a Boba Fett episode goes, it's garbage.
Garbage shooting is a really wonderful idea. What an incredible smell you've discovered.
Where's the Boba?
I hate to be like that. I hate to be that guy. But, the show's called the Book of Boba Fett. Now, I get it that they're all intertwined, and
sure.
As we've talked about in the different coverage of these episodes, and Phil and I talked about before we filmed, it occurred to me when I was watching them yesterday, the only way that any of this makes sense, and what I'm expecting now, is that this is the Marvel format. And
sure.
This series is going to run right into Mandalorian Season 3, and it's going to pick up where this left off, because there's no way...
Which would be great.
There's no way you wrap this up in this next episode. Unless it's rushed.
Yeah, unless it's like a 2.5 hour episode.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Which you can do at that point, but then why the other stuff?
If the next episode's a 2.5 hour episode...
Mm-hmm.
I got to really look at this whole series logistically and be like, why did you make these decisions?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I get, you want to pump up Mandalorian Season 3, and believe me, you've done that.
Well, yeah, mission accomplished if that was the goal.
I can't wait for Mandalorian Season 3.
It looks great. It's just, I know I have friends that are hardcore Boba Fett fans, and, I was talking to one in particular, where Boba Fett's their favorite character, right? And they're furious about this last episode.
Sure.
It was their least favorite episode of the series.
Which is saying a lot.
Because it's great Star Wars, and they don't disagree with that, but it's not Boba Fett.
Right.
And they've been a fan of Boba Fett since Empire came out. Yeah, that's how old we are. They've been a fan of Boba Fett since... we saw the really old movie, Tom Holland. He's been a fan of Boba Fett since The Empire Strikes Back came out, right?
Sure.
Which most people have been who are old school Star Wars fans.
Of course.
And that's how, without that, as we've said before, this show doesn't even... The Mandalorian never even happens.
Right, yeah,
without
absolutely.
That popularity of the character of Boba Fett. So now that you're doing a show about Boba Fett, and then you don't have hardly any Boba Fett in it.
Just baffling. It really is.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's get away from that. We've stated that opinion.
We've complained about that a
billion
few times. Yeah, we have.
Let's talk guest stars.
Oh, yeah. Which one? There was a million of them.
That's why I said stars.
Yeah.
Yes, stars. Many, many.
Stars of the Wars of the Stars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You say Stara, and you think of Be Cool, the Elmore Leonard movie.
Raylan Edwards was in this show.
Yes.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, being you're not from around here, and say you figured you're in the middle of nowhere. But everything out there, to everything out there, is the most Pelgo territories.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that
not Cobb Vanth, that was Raylan Edwards. If you haven't seen Justified,
Raylan Givens.
Go watch Raylan Givens. Sorry, yeah. Go watch Justified, because that's him.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's just Justified in space.
It's Raylan Givens in space. But that's the same character. He delivered his lines with the cadence of Raylan Givens.
Exactly the same. And we were talking about it as we were watching it. And he gets typecast as that, Timothy Olyphant.
He's good at it, though.
But it's because he's so good at it.
Yeah, it started as Sheriff Bullock.
Yep.
And then when he became Raylan, he just took away the anger and kept everything else and became Raylan Givens. And Cobb Vanth is Raylan Givens. I mean, these lines
100%.
were like written by Elmore Leonard.
Absolutely.
It seems
so
like
you
it couldn't have been,
bring
but-
him into Star. Yeah, it couldn't have been, but you bring him into Star Wars, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth is a great character. Hopefully, he's still around.
I hope so.
Because he had a little run-in with somebody we know.
Dude, so awesome.
Oh, yes.
I'd be careful where I was sticking my nose if I were you.
I've been asking for Cad Bane. I think I asked for Cad Bane in other episodes that we've recorded.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
You know, Cad Bane is such a great character. You first see him in the Clone Wars in the season finale of the Clone Wars first season, the cartoon. He's an awesome bounty hunter.
He's a bad man.
He is a bad man.
Here we go. Now, let's go talk to some senators.
His specialty is taking down Jedi.
Yeah, he's
this
a
guy
bad
has
dude.
fought Ahsoka, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He's fought all of them and is still alive.
Yeah.
Dude's a bad man.
Yeah, and to see him in live action was dope.
Just great. Well, actually, the last time we saw him prior to this live action appearance was fighting Fennec Shand
In the Bad Batch.
in the Bad Batch.
He's right.
Fennec Shand.
Hello, Bane.
You got no business messing with my score.
You of all people know it's all about the price.
Yeah, the same voice actors play Fennec Shand as did in the cartoon, as you guys know.
Yep.
And the same voice actor who played Cad Bane in the cartoons played him in the show.
Yes.
So
cool.
That's
It's
really
so
awesome that they
cool.
continue to do that. And it adds a lot for you expect in the next episode that Fennec Shand and Cad Bane are going to run into each other.
And probably have it out again.
And you may also have Ahsoka, because she was in this episode.
yeah. we
And
got
she
Ahsoka.
has had run-ins with Cad Bane.
You're not much of a challenge, youngling. I got you right where I want you.
I'm not impressed.
But yeah. Oh, yes.
So
yeah,
you may
absolutely.
have Ahsoka in this next episode. I suspect we will. In episode 7, we saw her in episode 6 with, of course, who else?
Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
and little baby Grogu.
Well, you knew that was coming.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you
You
can't.
knew that was coming. I mean, he said he was going to say hello to his little friend.
And he
He didn't
well,
get
he almost
to,
did.
but he went to where his little friend was. And, you know, his gift was delivered by Ahsoka, by Auntie Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And not Grogu's auntie, Luke's auntie.
I'm an old friend of the family.
Luke's auntie. Yes, exactly. She's an
and-
old friend of the family.
Yeah, you know, I mean, as cool as that was to see, I really wanted to see the first time that Ahsoka and Luke met.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, you know, for Ahsoka and Luke, that conversation where Luke learns that, oh, yeah, this is my father's Padawan.
Yeah, how does Luke react to that?
Right.
And, we
how
don't
does
get to see
Ahsoka
that.
react to meeting Luke's kid?
Right.
You know, like, she knew both of his parents.
Absolutely.
She knew Obi-Wan.
Knew and loved both of his parents.
She
yes.
knew Obi-Wan very well. She knew Yoda. She knew all the, you know, I wanted to see the interaction, and maybe we'll get it someday.
Yeah, well,
but I
that-
was hoping to see it before we saw this. But anyway,
That could come in the Ahsoka series. We
it
don't.
could.
We don't know.
I mean, I
Yeah.
did cheer the first time I saw Luke and Ahsoka on screen together. I cheered out loud
Absolutely.
in my house.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was awesome. You know, and she says, "Oh, you're just like your father." And
Yeah.
Luke's kind of like, "Oh, not in the bad ways, right?"
Well, and yeah, exactly. But speaking of being just like their father, the little baby Grogu, I mean, we assume maybe
we don't
Yoda's the father, but there's a lot of callbacks to Luke and Yoda's training in Empire.
Run! Yes, Jedi strength flows from the Force.
Beware the dark side.
He had the Yoda backpack on.
He had and doing a flip in the woods and all
Just
that.
like in Empire.
Just like Empire. Call back to New Hope with the little laser ball.
Yeah, that Obi-Wan trained him with, yeah.
Yeah, there's so
that
much.
Grogu consequently said, F you, ball.
Yeah.
Later.
Took care of that ball real quick. But we see, Grogu kind of jumping around like Yoda did. Using the Force to do exactly that.
Like Yoda did in the prequel movies.
In the prequels, yeah. And it's just really cool. A lot of really cool callbacks. The episode itself was premium Star Wars.
Oh, it was premium Star Wars.
Just amazing stuff. I remember when I first saw The Mandalorian, the very first season of The Mandalorian, I sat down and I remember feeling the same way I did when I first saw Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I had that feeling all throughout The Mandalorian, loved it. And with the Book of Boba Fett, I went... After the first couple episodes, I'm like, man, it just feels like they're not in it.
They've done some deviations.
Sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it.
Exactly.
And these last two, I don't know if it's. I mean, I don't know. I do know it's ever since they've introduced Djarin into the season, it's felt more Star Wars. As soon as it's become the Mandalorian storyline, the last two episodes. It's been more Star Wars. You've had that feeling, I mean, nothing.
That was it. I had that feeling.
Yeah, nothing will ever beat. I mean, the first time you watch The Mandalorian, the first time season 1, episode 1 aired, and at the end, you get the Baby Yoda reveal. I mean, that's one of the biggest moments in Star Wars history.
It is
because that was like, oh my god, and they can't. That's part of I think the magic that The Mandalorian has that none of their other series are gonna have.
Right.
It's hard to replicate that.
Oh, for sure. It's it's new ground. Yeah. And they're breaking new ground in the way that Star Wars did so many years ago. Yeah. And that's why it feels that way. And that's what it felt like to watch these last two episodes again. Mando can hold a series. Apparently Boba can't.
Which I don't understand. I think he can.
He should be able to.
But it's not been written that way.
You're absolutely right.
And we'll see in the next episode, I suspect that we're going to see Grogu in the next episode, and I suspect we're going to see Ahsoka as well.
Probably Ahsoka dropping Grogu off.
And then staying to fight at the request of Mando.
That'd be great.
Is what I would guess.
And then Kira comes in and has her dragons. It'd be great.
Dracarys.
Wrong show.
Damn it.
All right. Well, with that, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's Book of Boba Fett. Join us next week. We'll have episode 7.
Yeah, probably a little bit longer episode.
I would imagine so. Yeah. And in the meantime, go ahead. Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. In the meantime, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. And invite your friends to join in the party as well. And with that, we will say, what's on your nerd card?